Well, just when you think. uh, all right. Well, Carrie's going to step aside for a second. As soon as we went to go live, she gets a ring at the doorbell. so, so here we are at another workshop Wednesday. Um, we called an audible today because this is our only week's opportunity to talk about what's new in QuickBooks 2023. So we were going to have filing your payroll forms and wrapping up our payroll fundamentals, but today we're actually going to be preempting that with what's new in QuickBooks 2023, which is if you're an accountant or a bookkeeping professional and a desktop pro advisor, you should already see QuickBooks 2023 in your camps account. So by going to camps.intuit.com, you should be able to download and install that if you so desire. So I want to share my screen. And we created a blog article on schoolofbookkeeping.com. I'll throw that in the chat here. Where is it? There it is. Okay. All right. So, what's new in 2023? So, there were some um, significant changes to in 2023 if you are using them, right? So, that's one of the first things that we talked about here is that there are some significant feature upgrades, but if you don't, if you're we talked about this a little bit yesterday. If you are something like a contractor or plumbing, field service, those types of things. If you're a legal uh, business entity, uh, some of these things would be like, well, yeah, that's great and all, but it doesn't necessarily have an issue. It doesn't have an impact on me. And we'll talk about some of those features, or I'll talk about them until Carrie shows back up. Um, but now that everything is a subscription, um, you know, Pro Plus, Premier Plus, Enterprise, those desktop products, Mac. Um, those if a new version is available, it's already there. So you have the desktop manager, which is a software that you can download and upgrade your software directly from within that, so that you don't have to go figuring out, well, where do I go to download. You can download and upgrade your software directly within that if you see a feature that makes sense to do. So um, the blog article kind of goes through each of the features and talks about what version they're available in. So one of the big features this year that was kind of as Carrie and I were previewing it. This intercompany transfer, which is a what took you so long type of thing. So, intercompany transfer is a situation where you have multiple entities and you have a due to, due from type of situation where you're transferring, basically one company is paying for expenses for another, and you have those things going back and forth. So now you can have that and set that up directly within your enterprise, but it's enterprise platinum and diamond. So if you're using silver or gold, you don't have that option. So you need to have platinum and diamond. But if you're already using that, then just upgrading will be able to allow you to do that. The blog article has a lot of screenshots in there of how that initiates, as well as we've put the how to use that intercompany transfer function is a demo um, that QuickBooks has created an article about that. Another option. This is in all versions of QuickBooks 2023 is a cash flow center. It's very similar to the QuickBooks Online cash flow center, but it's not the exact copy, right? So that was one of the things that I appreciated about it, is they didn't take the exact same thing that you can do in QuickBooks Online and just plunked it into desktop. They actually redid it from the ground up, so you be able to add. You don't have to have your bank connected in order to add it to the cash flow hub. You can specify any version or any bank account or credit card account, and it will flow into your cash flow uh, trend line here. And then you can also see money in and money out transactions and drill into those things. So it's a nice option there. Another inventory enhancement, expiration dates. Again, you need to use Enterprise Platinum and or Diamond in order to utilize this functionality, because it's an enhancement of the advanced inventory function that's in Platinum. So when you're using serial numbers and or lot numbers in Enterprise Platinum, the advanced inventory function, you can add an additional option of expiration date. So this comes in really handy for someone that's in the food industry. Carrie's coming back. Hooray! Let's turn her back on here. Oh, I think we're both trying to turn Carrie back on here. You're muted.
Well, hello.
There you are. So you got your light guy situated?
I've got him situated so he might come crashing through with his ladder, so I might push that mute button.
Okay. So we just kind of review and see if you have anything to chime in about some of the features. The intercompany transfer, talked a little bit about that. And I remember you were saying this is you've been asking for this for a long time, because you've been on the Enterprise Council, right?
Yeah, this has just been a request from customers that does it do this? And I explained, well, no, there's workarounds that we can do to make this happen. So I'm really excited about this feature for sure. I think it's going to be really important for many of our customers.
Yeah. And then we talked about the cash flow center, which is a nice little hub area to see the trend of cash coming in and out. One thing that it doesn't do is it's not your statement of cash flows, where doesn't necessarily impact things that will have an impact on cash, but you can see kind of just where your cash is sitting, as far as the trending line. Don't want to see this dip into the red.
No, those are scary as business owners.
And
Oh,
I've actually talked about this expiration date to quite a few folks already, just because of the people that we've been dealing with have had a need for it, right? So when you're using serial numbers or lot numbers, having that extra added option of the expiration date, especially in food, right, or a warranty type of situation, when you have electronics that have your limited warranty for only a year. You want to have those expiration dates so that you can what's in stock and what might be expiring, so you can make decisions based on those expiration date, like manager only deeply discounted salmon because it's expiring tomorrow.
well, and
Because when does fish go bad? It smells like
to
fish
me,
either way.
like the second day you put it in your fridge, you got to eat it when you buy it. But I think this is going to be great for customers that have been doing third-party add-ons to get this feature and paying a lot of money. So
Yeah,
it seems like such a small thing. We used to have to work around some custom fields, so it's nice that this has been added.
right. And then in all versions of Enterprise now, the ability to have categories and categorize your inventory is available. I mean, this is a feature that's already existing in QuickBooks Online, And
Glad
now
to
that
see it.
it's I'd see it's
Actually
made its way
had.
over to enterprise. Yeah.
Wow.
Um, but that was always a challenge, right? So like if you wanted to categorize your item list, you had to do it in a sub item fashion, right? So if and that took up a space of um, your item list, right? Like
And
you had to
part of your
create a yeah.
parent child.
Right. So now you can just use a category and categorize your item list in different to depart to yeah, I can't
By
say it, to
department.
departmentalize
Yeah.
your inventory or your item list.
Where I see this function handy is if you're gonna do a spot check of your inventory and you wanna just look at shoes or something, you can go by that
Mhm.
category.
Yeah, makes it a little easier to bring up and sort items that way as well.
Yeah.
So a couple payment enhancements. I imagine that these payment enhancements will not find themselves only in 2023, but they're going to start in the latest version and then kind of sprinkle their way into older versions. Payments links is not new, but there is an enhancement to be able to see a dashboard so that you can when you what is a payment link, Carrie? Since I'm doing most of the talking here. Did I
So,
stump you?
something that QBO had, right? Something you can text somebody if they're asking for an invoice, boom, there's a payment link. Or is it attached to is it just a link to pay, or does it send the specific invoice of the customer?
Yeah, so you can create a generic payment link to pay something, um, and then send that to someone either through email or through a
Kinda
mobile
like a
way.
Venmo, "Here's my Venmo account."
Yeah,
Okay. So then I could
yeah,
just decide how much to send you? It's not a set okay.
right. Now, QuickBooks Online has an option to be able to create a generic payment link. Um, I haven't played enough with it in desktop to know if you can do that. But what a lot of people can use those payment links for is create a payment link and put it on my website, for a certain dollar amount, and that
Uh,
way it will allow people go to the website and pay that dollar amount, and then it will come into this dashboard, and
okay.
then you'll be able to apply that to a certain customer. I love all the customer names is customer name in this screenshot.
Well, it's nice that you can read that because I need a magnifying glass, like
I can make it bigger for you.
oh, there it is, customer name. Okay.
All right, and then there is
Ah,
a new card reader, or a newish card reader. It's been out for a while, but you're able to use it for desktop now. I'm
let
not
you so
100%.
you dip the chip?
Well, they had the EMV, the little card reader chip, but now um, this one has a little display on it, so you can
Ah,
when you say it's
interesting.
for $35, it actually shows up there, and then it's handheld. You can give it to your point it to your customer, and they can hold on to their card. You don't have to surrender your card. I always thought that was kind of interesting. Like when we went to France, you never actually get rid of your credit card, even at a restaurant, right? So they bring the terminal to you. And I always thought that was kind of weird that we do that in the United States. We're like, here's my card. I wonder why my card's been compromised. I give it to my server, and he's supposedly gone and just charged only my card. But in like other countries, you never get rid of your card. You just they give you the terminal, but this allows you to do that as well.
Got it.
But I'm not 100% sure if you have to use the Go Payment app with QuickBooks to use it, or if you could actually charge credit cards in your desktop, like you could um, connect it to your computer and actually charge inside of QuickBooks Desktop. But we'll play around with that and report
Circle
back
back.
on that. So improved banking connections in all versions of QuickBooks 2023.
Oh, I
Um,
can't wait.
yeah. But this is supposed to, be allow you to mostly the bigger banks are adopting this first, but it's allowing you to or allowing them to use an API instead of the traditional Web Connect or Direct Connect options. And then what will allow them to do is to do other things like with uh, check images and things like that. So it's a different option than what was used in the past, but allow you to initiate a connection without always going out to the bank's website, grabbing a file, and then bringing those types of things in. So should be at first it's probably not going to be widespread. Your local bank or credit union will be hopping on this, but it will take some time for other smaller regional banks to get on board with this. And then we go into some of the payroll enhancements. So for assisted payroll, the full service payroll offering, which you can't buy unless you're using Diamond to do this. Guideline is a 401k service provider, and you can integrate with the 401k service when you use assisted payroll. Nice part about this is that deductions will be automatically paid for
For
you.
you. Nice.
Um, so you'll be able to utilize that because in the past, assisted payroll would only handle tax filings and those types of things. So this is just adding another option to the Intuit payroll services to be able to offer some benefits options. So your 401k retirement can be done in the assisted payroll service. Again, I think this will start with 2023 and then kind of filter its way to the other versions as well, probably through updates. Um, Automated verification of employment and income through Equifax. Whew, that's a that's a mouthful. So this they've created a partnership with Equifax. So the use case scenario is an employee goes to get a loan or buys a car or something like that, and they need proof of employment. As long as they're pulling credit or things like that through Equifax, which is one of the three major credit bureau reporting, um, it'll automatically have the income verification and employment verification right there. Right. So
Mm.
the only option is to opt out of doing
Uh-huh.
that, but it is already it's an option for it's just an additional thing. So like I was saying before, Carrie, when you were letting the light guy in, um, a lot of these features are like, well, I'm not going to use that, right? But for those that use expiration dates for their inventory, this is a great feature. Intercompany transfers, if they are using those, um, yeah, that's a really great feature if you're already figuring out a workaround for that. But it's not a reason to go rushing out and buy 2023 if you
Right.
especially if you're not using it. But I was pleasantly surprised the amount of features that they had to talk about. I thought this year would be like one one feature from. The fact that we have a significant amount of things to talk about this year is pretty useful. We've put at the bottom of the article a little features by version. So, um, you know, sometimes there'll be things that you can that like intercompany transactions, uh, you know, unchecked for plus and QBES silver and gold. So, a little handy dandy cheat sheet there at the bottom of the blog article. Okay, Jeff had a question here. We'll throw that in here. Can
Oh,
a company still purchase the desktop payroll license? I know it's grandfathered and still purchased for the 50 EIN license. So an individual company, is that what you mean? Like anybody else? Yes, any company can buy um, the
Individuals
enhanced payroll service.
can,
Yeah.
and you need to really look at the benefit of Enterprise Gold because Desktop Pro and Premier prices have exploded, and standalone enhanced payroll has exploded. And if you sign up for QuickBooks Enterprise Gold and add all the factors together, it's a savings. There's no transaction on Gold.
Yeah, we talked about that when we were talking about the price increase in our workshop. Yeah, the anyone can purchase enhanced payroll. I think it's just now they've standardized it at $500 and $5 for each employee. But when you're adding that on to Pro Plus or Premier Plus,
There's a
in
lot,
comparison to Enterprise Gold, which includes the enhanced payroll service without any additional employee
not
surcharge,
not the
uh,
surcharge.
it,
Yeah.
it might be cost effective to be on Enterprise Gold, right? So it's just one of those things that you got to look at how many employees they have, and does it make sense? How many users? Because it used to be it took like 38 employees to
Oh, it's
have
so
a
better. It's much better now.
cost, but now it's like five. If they have five employees, because of the cost increase of per employee, um, Enterprise Gold is
Enterprise
actually.
didn't Enterprise didn't have their price increases. Their price increases are generally in February, and they've got them on a cadence, kind of like they're doing with QBO, as we're seeing just by history. There's nothing that I know to predict, but they're really trying to steer people away from Desktop Pro and Premiere, and so the prices just totally exploded with that and with enhanced payroll. So Enterprise wasn't touched, and as a result, it actually is now it seems to be more cost effective for the customer.
Yeah, I was gonna try to find that article that we had about the pricing in the workshop here. Oh, I found it right here. Whoops. There we go, and I'll throw that in the chat as well.
Good question, Jeff.
Jeff's always
And
good for questions.
well, and I also think, just as a side note, you were saying, gosh, look at all these features that have come out. Well, we've been asking for these for years and years and years. And so they have like a big bullet list of what they can get done. So they've been working on these things and then able to release them. So some of these may have been a project from a few years ago that finally was ready for prime time. And sometimes they're not always like 100% when they first come out, but they do listen to feedback. So
Absolutely. So next week we're gonna Carrie and I are camping.
we're camping in Happy Camp.
Yeah, we're going to we were invited to go to an happy hour camp, which our friends Heather and Liz that do
Inaugural
the
first
QuickBooks
year.
Happy Hour. They're having an event in Virginia for 3 days where some apps and some educators are going to get together and ideate, as they call it. So we're going to powwow about some, um, just share some ideas. And so we're going to take off next week for the workshop because that's over Wednesday, and then we'll pick up with wrapping up payroll, our payroll fundamentals. This has only been taking 6 months to get through
Hey, it's all good.
our topics, and then I think
That's
what we're going
neat
to
to
do
know.
is once we wrap up the payroll fundamentals piece, we're going to start talking about sales tax. So really fun stuff on the workshop. So
But if you don't understand it, it can be
yeah.
expensive. It can be an expensive mistake. So we want to get you the right help and fundamentals around it so you don't make a mistake.
All right. So we'll see you next time on another workshop Wednesday, and I'll see you
We'll
then.
see you in 2 weeks.
All right. Bye.